Revelation chapter 17 verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Shalom, this is GMS Holland Sit Downs coming back with the lesson. First off and foremost, I would like to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, Baal Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, for teaching us this truth and that rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect out there spreading this word, the sincerity, and the truth. God, this is a quick news update. Salakia, but my battery's low. Just saw this news article. The reason it's an update because, you know, this is a major prophecy that keeps updating almost every week now, man. You know, prophecies don't come to pass in one day. There's a specific time, and it's building itself up, so to speak, towards the prophecy being fulfilled. You know, which this is one of the prophecies, like you saw. I just read Revelation chapter 17 verse 16, which goes into the 10 horns, which the 10 horns represent the European nations. You know, the EU, basically, going back to the Roman Empire, when the European Union, of course, didn't exist yet, but was representative of 10 European nations. For example, the Ostrogoths, Heruli, Suevi, Visigoths, you know, and so on and so on, which they are now called England, Spain, Portugal, France. You know, and if you go back, it will lead to it will go back to 10 nations. You know, which in I believe 1956 there was something called the Roman Treaty, which shows you that we are living in the Roman Empire revived. The 10 horns which are sawed upon the beast being the NATO, is the European Union, which shall hate the whore being America, you know, and shall make her desolate and naked, and she shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Eat her flesh, yeah, basically rob her, man. Rob her and destroy her, eventually with nuclear fire. So Europe is the European Union and the nations in Europe are gonna have a part in the destruction of America. Now, this destruction is not physical to a level that it's gonna be burnt up, but the financial parts and the financial how can I say it, the financial area of America is gonna be destroyed first by Europe not wanting to work with America anymore because of the tariffs. You know, there's a trade war going on right now, you know, which is messing up America. And you had already European so-called leaders saying that, hey, listen, man, if America thinks he can do these things with trading, then America's wrong, man, because Europe can stand on its own with the trades within Europe, but America needs Europe to buy their products, you know, and to buy products from Salakia, you know. So eventually America will collapse if Europe doesn't cooperate with their will. So this is gonna create a whole lot of problems, which is prophecy, which is written in the Bible, man. So it says Europe is working on alternative to SWIFT for financial independence from the US. You know, so they're working on financial independence of the US, that they don't need the US, you know. That's their goal. And don't think that that this is gonna be go slowly, because these are major threats, man. It's like let me see if I can get an example. Yeah, let's say you're living with your girl, but then and the house is on her name, and then you see the relationship is not going that well. Before you before the point comes that y'all break up and she kicks you out, you're gonna make sure that you have another place to sleep. You know, you're not gonna wait until the relationship's basically is broken down and then she kicks you on the street and you live in the streets. You know, you're gonna secure yourself beforehand. So with threats like this, America is gonna secure himself, man. You know, in all kinds of ways that are possible, which we know America always has radical ways, you know, making war if nations don't want to cooperate, if nations don't want to listen. You know, so this is gonna lead towards war with Europe also, conflicts between America and Europe. So it says in the aftermath of a report that Germany was working on a global payment system that is independent of the US and SWIFT. On Monday, Germany and France said they are working on financial solutions to sidestep US sanctions against countries such as Iran, including a possible role for central banks, Bloomberg reported. With Germany, we are determined to work on independent European or Franco-German financing tool which would allow us to avoid being collateral victims of US extraterritorial sanctions. French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire said Monday during a meeting with press association AJEF. I want Europe to be a sovereign continent, not a vassal. And that means having totally independent financing instruments that do not today exist. You know, so they're working towards a program which is loosed from America's ways, America's money system. And you know what America does when you want to be, you know, outside of their ways, outside of their money system, basically not cooperating with their businesses. Then they're gonna invade the country. Then they're gonna become radical. And here it is. You got this radical ass dude called Donald Trump sitting on in the office, you know. So we know shit is about to pop off, which is biblical prophecy, you know. So it says the discussions, which also involve the UK, are a signal that European powers are trying to get serious about demonstrating a greater level of independence from the US as President Donald Trump pursues his America First agenda. You know, so this is a trade war. There's a trade war going on, and this is basically a head-on-head collision, which is about to pop off between America and Europe. And here you see the UK, which is the mother of America, is basically interfering too. You know, which is also part of prophecy. Mother ashamed should lead me right to it. Gone. Jeremiah 50:12. You know, because America's gonna do something stupid, you know, during these trade wars, or after these trade wars, or after the collapse of this Roman system, you know. And Britain or England or the UK, however you want to call it, is gonna be ashamed of America. Is nonsense, man. you know, and eventually turn its back against America too, because you know, you got the Brexit going on, Britain leaving the EU, and America is basically you know, kissing England's ass, like, yeah, we will do business with y'all, you know. So America and England are basically in the same boat still, but you know, England is soon gonna be ashamed. And here it is in the article that you just saw. You see that England is also joined in these meetings talking about this new money system, and that they are a part of America's business. So Jeremiah 15:12, your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at her plagues. Yeah, because going back to the first part of the two verses, the mother of America is England, the UK, and it shall be ashamed of America, and it's gonna be destroyed by nuclear fire by nations that are so-called third world countries, you know, which have become strong due to their nuclear capability, you know. And America's gonna become a desert and a desolation, which the word desolation comes from desert, you know. Basically the other way around. Desert comes from the word desolation, you know. And people are gonna be astonished that America is gonna be destroyed, because America was once this so-called great nation, you know, which became rich off of the backs of the Negros, Latinos, and Indianos, which goes against the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So they need to be punished for it, and that punishment is rendering, man. That punishment is rendering, and it's starting with sanctions against each other, nation going against nation, and basically Esau going against Esau. That's why the scripture says, this. Let me see. Isaiah 19 verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You see? So Slovakia. So we know America is spiritually called Egypt, like it says over here, Revelation 11:8, and their body shall lie in the Slovakia, and their body shall lie in the street of the great city, which is America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So America is spiritually called Egypt, and the ways of America coincide with the ways that were in Egypt. You know, they glorify Egypt. The pyramids, the obelisk, plus that they had us in slavery. You know, many spiritual things link to America as being Egypt, you know, which I'm not gonna go into right now. But for the brothers that know it, you know, y'all know what's up. But the Egyptians, in that verse that I was just reading, Isaiah 19:2, speaks about America, you know, speaks about Edom going against Edom, Edom fighting against Edom, which has been going on for a long time. You know, you're the Russians and America always going head to head. You know, that's already Edom against Edom. Different nations of Edom, but they're still Edomites. You know, but ever since that's been going on, you see America. You see this queendom is going down. You know, so another news update: Europe is working on an alternative to SWIFT for financial independence from the U.S. Prophecy in full effect, man. So with that, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash, Shalom to the elect.